Hi all, welcome to another video of Angular PrimeNG series. In this video, we can see how we can create a CRUD operation for the products. CRUD means create, read, update and delete. So I will create the videos as a 4 series. So in this video, I will concentrate on creating a products list using Angular and PrimeNG. So I already created a project called products CRUD in Angular using Angular CLI command ng new product CRUD. Once that has been created, in order to use a table and different components, I am using PrimeNG. So first I have to install PrimeNG for the same. So let me install PrimeNG, PrimeFlex and PrimeIcons for this. So I am running npm install PrimeNG, then PrimeIcons, then PrimeFlex, and I am saving to the package.json locally. It will take some time to install these 3 packages. Meanwhile, if you look on package.json, you can see all these packages has been installed and it will be updated in the node modules also. So in order to reflect or in order to use these packages in Angular project, what you have to do is you have to go to angular.json and you have to import all those style in the style folder. So I already copied all these 3 files and you can copy here. So these files you will get available in the PrimeNG website also. So this is the theme, which theme or which color you want to use, that you can add it, and then PrimeNG, minified CSS, PrimeFlex and the PrimeIcons. Okay, once that has been installed, you have to run it again. So if you made any changes in the angular.json, you have to run the application again. So I'm just giving npm start. It also takes some time. Once that has been installed, it will open up in the port 4200. Yeah, it's already open. So I'm just opening localhost 4200. The application is running fine. So I'm just going to the src folder and I'm just removing the app.component.html content. I'm saving it and go to the tss file. I'm just removing all those things. Okay, let's create a products CRUD. So first we will concentrate on how we can create a products list. Okay, so in order to implement the products list, instead of creating directly in the app folder, let me create a new module which is called a product. So I am going to create a new module, not by copy pasting, but instead I am just creating the module, component, services, interface, everything using Angular CLI. So make sure in your machine ng has been already installed. Okay, so once I go to the products CRUD application, you can create ng G for generate, it is a shortcut, and M for module, and you can give the module name. So it will be, I'm just creating a module name called product. And if you want a routing, you can give hyphen routing. So in my case, I'm just not going to create a new routing. I'm just with the /URL localhost 4200 itself, I am just going to show you the product list. So I'm just creating a product now. So a module has been created called product inside app folder. So product.module.ts. See, you can see it will be similar as of the app.component.module, but some imports are missing. Okay, so next step is you have to create a component. So ng G for generate, C for component, and you can give the same name like product. So once that has been created, HTML and its spec file and the TS file and module file, it's already created. So these 4 files has been created and it has been updated also. The product component created has been imported or declared in the app product.module.ts as well. Then next thing is like, in order to show the list, we have to call the API and you have to get the list from the API. So you have to create a service file. So all the API calls should be written inside the service file. For that, you have to create ng generate service. Then if you want to create a service file inside the product folder, first you have to mention the product folder, then you have to mention the file name. So I'm just giving a product, then it will create a product.service.ts file inside the product folder. Okay, so you have to give the folder / the file name. No need to append .service.ts. So you can see inside the product folder, product service.ts file also has been created. Next thing is like, if I need to create a structure, so since I am using TypeScript, I want to create a structure. Okay, so that structure called interface, that interface needs to be created also. So you can give ng generate in I for interface, then you can give the folder path. So product / interface name, it's a product. See, that also has been created. Then as per the basic standard structure, you don't have to you should not have more than 7 files in a particular folder, but for this purpose I am just concentrating on creating the list. Normally the service files can be in the shared folder or call folder, something like that we can use it. Now I am keeping in a single folder called product. It is related to the product file. Okay, once everything has been created, our next step is this product HTML. Now if you run your application, there is nothing is showing. So it's in app.component.html. If I am typing hello world and I am saving it, it simply shows, but it is not showing a product component.html content. How you can do that is, first you have to go to the product.module.ts and it is already declared a product component. In order to access the product component in the other modules, you have to export that component. So exports, then you have to export the product component from here. Once that has been closed, what you have to do is, you just come to the app.module.ts and you have to import products module. You have to import the products module. Once the product module has been imported, you have to go to app.component.html and you have to use the selector whichever used in the product.component.ts. In the product.component.ts, the selector is the app product. So you have to come here in the app.component.html, clear everything, and I am just adding app product. Okay, so whatever in the app.component.html, in the product.component.html, it will come here and it will override with the product data. Okay, so we can have a look on it. See, now whatever I have written in the app.component.html, it will override with the product.component.html. So these are the things, basic setups of the Angular. I have done it. Okay, so now it is working fine. So let's move to the product.component. I'm just removing all the other things. Then what is our next step is, there are different steps. One is, first we have to call the API and you have to get the API response from the backend. Second thing is, from the UI you have to add a table using PrimeNG, and whatever the data get from the service, you have to show those data in this table. So this is our main requirement. Okay, So first thing, you have to get the you have to call the API and get the data. That is the first step. So normally all the project will have backends. Since my project doesn't have any backend or it didn't develop, I am just using a fake store API.com/products. Okay, so this is the API which provides some dummy data. I am using the same API in order to get the data from the backend. In your case, it will be the backend API. So you have to go to product service.ts and you have to call the API. In order to call the API, you have to import the HttpClient module. HttpClient module need to be imported, then only you will be able to call the APIs. Okay, so go to the product module.ts, and so if it doesn't have any module, you can directly call in the app.module.ts itself. Since I created a separate module for the product, I am just importing everything related to the product in the product.module.ts itself. Okay, so in the import section, I am just importing HttpClient module. So this needs to be, this is not automatically populating for me, so I am just importing manually. So import HttpClient module from Angular common HTTP. Okay, at Angular/common/HTTP. And there is a basic strategy. All the packages should be imported first, then only our own files needs to be imported. So these are the library things. Okay, I'm saving it and I'm coming back to the service.ts file. Then first step is we have imported the HttpClient module to get the service call. Then here I have to import, I am referring a variable called HTTP and I am calling HttpClient. So that has been imported automatically when I type it. So HttpClient from Angular common HTTP. So here HTTP is the reference of HttpClient. Then I am just writing a function called getProducts. Then I am returning this dot http.get. Then I am just calling the API. This is a very minimal work for writing a service, but since we are using a TypeScript, always it will be always better to show what it returns. So it returns an observable. So it returns an observable. So normally people is doing, they are doing any. So it's not a good practice to give a any. So once you have tell any here, I think it's fine to show any itself. So let it be any here also. Okay, so normally people is doing any. So any is a good, not a good approach. So better you have to create an interface. So interface, we have an idea what are the fields coming from the backend. The same thing we can have, we can expect also. The same thing is like ID here. ID, it will be ID, it is a number, right? ID is a number. Then type, price is there, title is there. So title is the string. Then product is again a decimal, so there is no decimal here, always it will be a number type. Sorry, not a product, it's a price. Then it's a description, it's a string. Category is a string. Description is a string. Then category is also a string. Then next is image is also a string. Image is a string. Then if you can see, there is an option called rating. Inside that there is another object, right? So I'm just giving rating and I'm telling that I'm just creating another interface. Okay, I'm telling the name as rating props. Okay, so I'm just putting it, and here if you don't want to import the same thing in another files, you don't want to export it, but now we can simply create interface because I'm still using in the same file. Okay, so interface rating props, and the rating props, what you can see, there is a rate and count, both are number. Rate is a number and count is also a number. Okay, so this is how we can create an interface for the product. Since we created the interface for the product in the product service.ts, instead of any, you can give it as a product array, because from the back end, if you are calling this API, it is returning an array. Okay, so it's an array of each interface. I'm just importing this one, add import from the product. I'm saving it, and also from here also, and get also, we will show the product. Once the product API service has been completed, we can go to the product code component.ts and call the API. Okay, that is the next step. In order to inject the service in a component.ts, you have to add private, then product service local variable, that is a product service, and we have to import the original product service. So it is imported now. See, product service, it is imported. So this is a local reference. Then ng on it, you have to just create a function. You can either write in the ng on it, but better for cleaner code, I will create another function inside the another functions in this file itself. So this get product list. So I'm just creating a function in this component, get product list, and I'm telling here the get product list, I have to call the service API. So this dot product service dot get products, then you have to subscribe it, and you will get a response. We can check in the console.log, are we getting a response or not? We can check that one. So if you click on the console, from the backend, it is returning array of 20 records. Okay, so now you get the response. In order to make it available, any of the variable in the component.ts in the HTML, what you have to do, you have to create a variable here. So I'm just creating a variable called products. Then I'm telling this variable having an interface. Okay, so this variable always having a structure of an interface we have created before, and I am initializing it with an empty array. So this has been created. Once the products has been done, you can assign this dot products equal to response. I am saving it, and also you can add the error condition. If it is an error, it's just you can console it. Okay, there we can also do some error condition in the service file itself, global error. Now I am not concentrating on the error condition for now. So I'm just giving this dot products equal to response, so all the product details will be available in the products. So our first step has been completed. Now we call the API service, and we got all the products in a variable. Next thing is, we have to pass this variable to the HTML, and you have to display all the products inside a table. This is our next step. Okay, so in order to create a table, you are using a PrimeNG. So what you can do, just go to the PrimeNG website, search for the table. Okay, so table documentation. So there are different types of tables. So either what you can do is, you can call an API, get all the result from the API, just display it in the table with the pagination, and when you click on the first page, it will show 10 records. When you click on the second page, from the UI they will take the another second records. There is another option called, if you have more number of records, there is an option called lazy loading. Lazy loading means when you load first time or the first table, the first 10, it will call the API and get the first 10 records. If you click on the second page on the pagination, it will call the API again, it will return the next 10 record. If you click on the third page, it will return the next 10 records on the third page. Okay, so every time when you click on it, it will call the API. So that is for better performance, you can use it. Now since I doesn't have much records, I am simply preferring to create a table with a basic setup. Okay, so I'm just creating a basic setup, and what you have to do is in the documentation you can see there is an import table module option. So I'm just importing the table. I'm going back to product.module.ts and I'm importing a table module here, and I will import here also. That is the first step. Then go to the HTML and you can see it has been already done a P table with an ng template. So I'm just copy pasting that one, and instead of values there is already we have a variable called products, right? So the same thing we can pass to here, products. Then which are the fields I have to show here? So maybe I can give an ID. Then maybe if you don't want to show the ID, leave it. Okay, then let me check that. Okay, there is a title is there, price is there. So title, then price, then the description is a big one. I'm not showing the description for right now. Then category, then there is some image. So image, if you want you can show it, else you can leave it. Okay, so image, so the image maybe you can give it in the images RC file. Okay, so once title, price, category, image, you just come to the ng template body. Then instead of car, just give a variable as you wish. So here it's a product, so just give a variable as you wish, like ABCD, whatever maybe you are giving a name. Okay, so I am giving a name called product. Then you have to mention here product dot title and product dot price, then product dot category, then here product dot image. Once that has been saved, sorry, the image maybe we can give instead of img src, and you can give, I'm saving it, and let's see what will happen. Oh, the image is there but it's too big, so I'm just giving height 20px. I'm not sure how it will be. Instead of height maybe I can give width. Even it is small, it is fine. Okay, yeah, it's fine for now. So this is how we are just showing a table structure. So maybe we can create, you know, a website like Amazon, Myntra with this one. I'm just concentrating. I'm not looking on the design right now. I'm just showing how to implement a CRUD operation with the product list. Okay. So first, the title, price, category. You can see there is no pagination. So in order to implement the pagination, what you can do is you can simply tell a pagination equal to true, and I think it's row also we have to mention. I'm just searching for the correct structure. Yeah, so rows also you can mention. It's a 10 or 5 or whatever it may be. So I'm just giving a 10. I think some issues there. Paginator, not a pagination. So paginator equal to true, and the rows equal to 10. So you can see it's 2. So let me give it a 5 for now. Just removing this one. You can see title, price, category and image. Then I have a pagination. So when you click on each page, you can see why it is jumping, maybe because of this content or height. Maybe let me give a width height instead of this, and 30px. Yes, it's working fine. So this is how we will create a CRUD. Okay, so we will create the first set of the CRUD, so that is read options. The coming videos I can show the view, edit, add, delete, all those sections.